For number 7, if we're going to try to factor the top and bottom separately, the top of this, remember the very first thing you look for is what do they have in common. But on the top I have 1x squared and a negative 144. 1x squared minus 144. Those do not have anything in common. Remember, 1 doesn't count. So they don't have anything in common, so I'm supposed to factor this in some other way. And the only other way we know is x method. But remember, x method only works if we have x squared. Well, we do. It says x squared. So nothing in common. It says x squared. That means we're going to use x method. And a lot of people got confused here because when you set up the x method, you need a, b, and c. You're supposed to have ax squared plus bx plus c. But we don't have that. We have a is 1 in front of x squared. We have c, negative 144 at the end, but we don't have b. B is going to be 0. We saw this in an example on Friday. So b is going to be 0 at the bottom of my x method. A times c is going to be negative 144 at the top of my x method. And what I'm looking for is two numbers that multiply to make negative 144, but if I add them, they are 0. Yeah, negative 12 and positive 12. A big hint on these, if b is 0, if they're supposed to add to make 0, the only way you can do that is with exact opposites. 2 and negative 2, 3 and negative 3, 4 and negative 4. They have to be exact opposites. So 12 and negative 12 would be perfect. So what I've created here is 1x plus 12, 1x minus 12. On the bottom, I take out what they have in common. They're both multiples of 3. They both have the variable x. Remember, when you take out a variable, you take out the smallest exponent. That's a 2, that's a 1, so I took out 1. That also means that when I fill in the parentheses, because I took out x to the first, I'm subtracting 1 off of each exponent. So, dividing by 3 and taking 1 off of each exponent. 3 divided by 3 is 1. X to the second, take away one of the exponents, is 1x to the first. 36 divided by 3, it's going to give me 12. I had x to the first, I took out x to the first, there's no more x's there. So now I can go ahead and cross out the things that are the same, x minus 12, x minus 12. That leaves me with x plus 12 over 3x. And that's going to be my final simplified answer. For the excluded values, we'll just abbreviate it EV. For the excluded values, remember, you're looking at your denominator before you crossed anything out. So 3x times x minus 12. And you solve it for 0. Excluded values are numbers that make the denominator 0, which is impossible. You can't divide by 0. So we set them separately. 3x equals 0, or x minus 12 equals 0. Divide by 3, x equals 0. Add 12, x equals 12. So for my final answer, I have what I simplified, but x cannot equal 0 or 12.